Hi everyone, welcome back to Ukulele Next Steps with me, Matt Stead. In today's video, we're going to take an in-depth look at the split stroke or the split strum. This is a really interesting technique. Most people associate it with George Formby and his style of playing music, particularly on the banjo ukulele. But actually, this is a really old technique which goes back to the turn of the 19th into the 20th century and was often played on banjos and tenor guitars as well as ukuleles. And I'm actually going to take you way back to 1914 for Uday Bowman's 12th Street Rag. We're going to break down the piece and look at all the different sections, work out how to apply that split strum to it. I'm also going to teach you a really cool little outro, which you can use on loads of pieces of music, and a really cool intro. Instantly recognisable, right? And we're going to have loads and loads of fun with this, really break it down. So grab your uke, let's take a look. So let's break down that split strum first, work out what's actually happening. That's our basic split strum. What I'd like you to do first is think about the rhythm involved on the split strum. And we're going to do something really unusual. We're going to flip our ukes upside down, and I'd just like you to tap out the following rhythm with me. First of all, I'd just like you to tap with your thumb once, anywhere on your uke. You don't have to tap hard, we're not going to break it, just nice and gentle. We're just going to tap with our thumb once. Tap with your thumb. We're going to follow that with 2 taps with any finger. Really doesn't matter which finger you use, like this. Thumb, tap, tap. Thumb, finger, finger. Thumb, finger, finger. Thumb, finger, finger. Brilliant. Next up, we're going to put 2 of those together. Have a look. Okay, I'm literally just going thumb, finger, finger, thumb, finger, finger. Pause the video, have a little try of that. And when you've got it, come back. Let's try it together. 2, 3, 4. Thumb, tap, tap, thumb, tap, tap. Not too tricky, right? Bit of practice, you'll get that. All we're going to do now is add a single thumb tap on the end. So instead of 2 taps, there's 1, like this, just thumb tap. We're just going to add that to the end. Watch it over with me. Don't worry, in a minute, I'm going to break my own rules and I'm actually going to give you a diagram with all the ups and downs in a minute. But it's really important to feel this rhythm first, because that's what this split strum's all about, is a sense of syncopation. I'm going to put it all together. See if you can listen through a couple of times and then join in. Thumb, tap, tap, thumb, tap, tap, thumb, tap. See? It's almost symmetrical, it's just we miss off one of the taps on the last go. Thumb, tap, tap, thumb, tap, tap, thumb, tap. And we're going to keep that going round with a little breath in between that last tap. You'll see. Thumb, tap, tap, thumb, tap, tap, thumb, tap, thumb, tap, tap, thumb, tap, tap, thumb, tap, thumb, tap, tap, thumb, tap, tap, thumb, tap, thumb, tap, tap, thumb, tap, tap, thumb, tap. Again, pause the video, have a little practice. Building up that sense of rhythm is way better than going straight to the ukulele and trying it on the strings. Trust me, trust me. See if you can get a sense of that rhythm. Once you've got that, it's going to help you massively when we put the split strum together. Now, just quickly before we do apply that to the strings, you might have noticed that I haven't given you any numbers, any beats to work on. Those that are really into it, this is the kind of rhythm applied to the beat. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. But I don't want you to think about that. I felt I just had to show you that just in case anyone asked. But I prefer you to think about it as a strong rhythm. When you start applying that rhythm to counts, with the added complications soon that we're going to be adding ups and downs to it, you end up freezing up like a robot, and it becomes really difficult. So don't worry about numbers, just think about it as a rhythm. Thumb, tap, tap, thumb, tap, tap, thumb, tap. Let's apply it to the strings. So let's take a look at sheet 1 in your downloadable PDFs. If you follow the link in the description, there's a little arrow you'll notice to the bottom right of the video. Click that, it will come up with the description and it will have a link to where you can print off these downloadable PDFs. I'll show them on screen as well, just to help and make it easier, and in case you haven't got a printer. Now, as I said a minute ago, I'm not big into strum patterns with arrows going up and down, But in terms of the split strum, it's the only way to present it. We need a bit of a roadmap because it's quite complex what's going on. But I'll simplify it. As always, I'll try and break it down and make it easier for you. So see if you can download this printable PDF and let's start to piece it together. Now, the first thing you might notice when you look at the sheet is that some of the arrows are long and some of the arrows are short. Now, a long arrow means a down strum over all 4 strings. And by the way, these sheets are literal. You know how with tablature sometimes down means up in terms of strumming and it's very confusing. These are very literal. If you see a down strum on the sheet, an arrow pointing down, it means a down strum. Okay. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to mute the strings with this finger, this hand, and this is just so we can practice the sound of the rhythm, so we're not playing to a chord or anything. Don't press or you'll have a chord. We just want a nice chucked sound. So the very first thing that happens in this basic pattern is we have a down strum, and that's just a very simple down strum, just like you would any other time. I'm using the nail side of my index finger coming down over the sweet spot of my ukulele. The next 2 arrows you'll notice are smaller. And this is really important. In this diagram, whenever the arrow is small, it means you just very lightly touch either the G string, the one nearest your nose, we'll call that the top string for now, or the A string, we'll call that the bottom string because it's nearest the floor for this one. Now, it doesn't matter when you do that, and we'll look at this in a lot more detail in a minute, whether you touch a couple of strings as you go down or a couple of strings as we go up. What we really don't want is when we have a small arrow to do a full 4-string strum. So the first bit is going to look something like this. Look, down, up, down. Okay, so I'm doing a full down strum, touching the A string, touching the G string on a down. Down, up, down. Just practice that round. Down, up, down. Notice when I do my up and down, the little arrows, I'm just touching the outer strings. Down, up, down, down, up, down, down, up, down. Okay. Now, when you see loads of arrows in a row like that, it can be really overwhelming. So what I've done is I've broken it down into little sections. So that down, up, down is your first bit in kind of dotted brackets, isn't it? Notice that the second bit in dotted brackets is exactly the same. So what we're going to do is we're going to piece them together. We're going to play down, up, down, down, up, down. Okay, down, up, down, down, up, down. And that's replicating our thumb, tap, tap, thumb, tap, tap, right? That we were doing on the back. Let's practice that a few times. Down, up, down, down, up, down. And remember, little arrows just hit the outer strings. Down, up, down, down, up, down. Down, up, down, down, up, down. Down, up, down, down, up, down. Have a little practice of that. Roll that round a few times and then come back to the video. And believe it or not, you're nearly there in terms of the pattern. We've just got to add a single down up on the end of that pattern. And that's just like when we flipped the ukulele around, we added a single thumb tap. Thumb tap, tap, thumb tap, tap. Here it is, thumb tap. We're going to do exactly the same thing here, replicating it with down, up, down, down, up, down, down, up. So all I did was added a down up to what we were already doing. And notice that last up is a little arrow, right? So I'm just attacking the A string. If I accidentally hit the E string, that's totally cool. It's just the feel of the rhythm. It doesn't have to be specifically that note. So if we put that together, down, up, down, down, up, down, down, up, down, up, down, down, up, down, down, up. Okay, let's do that a few times, rolling it round and round. 2, 3, 4, down, up, down, down, up, down, down, up. Let's try that a bit slower. 2, 3, 4. Down, up, down, down, up, down, down, up. Then let's rotate that round and round. Down, up, down, down, up, down, down, up. Again, down, up, down, down, up, down, down, up. Once more. Down, up, down, down, up, down, down, up. Now This is really nice to practice just muting the strings because you get a real sense of the rhythm. It almost makes your ukulele sound like a drum, doesn't it? And when I was learning this, I wanted to kind of build up speed. I used to even practice it when I didn't have a ukulele. I'd be sat on a bus or a train and I would just be tapping my jumper down, up, down, down, up, down, down, up, or tapping my leg down, up, down, down, up, down, down, up. And that's why we practiced on the back of a ukulele. Once you have that rhythm, you need to make it almost ingrained into your very soul so that you can do it without thinking. And you can start slow, down, up, down, down, up, down, down, up, and gradually increase the speed, down, up, down, down, up, down, down, up, down, up, down, up. And not expected to go that fast straight away, of course not, but it just goes to show if you practice it slowly, you can get it quickly as well. It's just a matter of practice. Now, before we add the little on and offs using our fingers, let's put that to a chord sequence so we can get a feel of how it feels rhythmically. The basis of the 12th Street Rag, believe it or not, is 2 chords, the 1 and 5 chords in any key. In a key of C, that's a C chord and a G7 chord. So what I'd like to do is practice that pattern with me, down, up, down, down, up, down, up, on a C chord and a G7 chord. And I'd like us to do that progression twice on each chord. I'll show you once and then you can join in the second time. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and down, up, down, down, up, down, down, up, down, up, down, down, up, down, down, up, down, up, down, down, up, down, down, up, down, up, down, down, up, down, down, up. Okay, let's try that slightly slower before you join in. Down, up, down, down, up, down, down, up, down, up, down, down, up, down, down, up, down, up, down, down, up, down, down, up, down, up, down, down, up, down, down, up. Let's try it together. Come in after 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and down, up, down, down, up, down, down, up again, down, up, down, down, up, down, down, up, G7, down, up, down, down, up, down, up, down, down, up, down, down, up. Now, did you notice something there that's really cool about this pattern? Because the last little section, if you like, of that pattern just features a down up and then there's like a little breath, it gives you time to change chords, like down, up, down, down, up, down, down, up, down, up, down. Just by not having that last down, so it's just finishing on a down up, it gives you a little bit of time to swap the chords. And that's another reason why this pattern is so brilliant to play with the ukulele. Now, I can't say this enough, this is super important. Really do pause the video and practice that round and round. You can go at your own pace, you don't even have to go as quick as that. Just keep that rhythm going round and round in a cycle and get comfortable and gradually speed up your tempo. This is a really tricky technique to get and it's difficult just to get it like that in the course of one video. So this might take you some days, even weeks to perfect, okay? But if I can teach you the pattern and how to do it, you can take away it and practice. So do feel free to pause the video and go back over that C and G7 and get really comfortable with it before we do this next bit. So at its essence, you have the split strum there, that's it. Now, a trick that ukulele players do, including George Formby and many other people, even on banjo as well, is that they'll make it sound even more complex. They'll trick the ear to think there's even more going on by just adding their finger on and off the A string when they're playing chords. So for instance, instead of playing a C chord like this with the split strum, where it just stays there the whole time, they will lift this finger on and off. Have a listen. Do you notice by just adding that finger on and off, it really creates like a sense of drama. There's that da-dee da 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 dee da. It's kind of another layer of sophistication. Now, it's way easier than it looks, I absolutely promise. I'm going to show you a trick which makes this way easier to do than you'd imagine. Let's have a look. So if we have a look at the next diagram, you'll notice there are a series of noughts and crosses, if you like, above the strum pattern. Now here's the important bit. Wherever you see an X, it means that we're going to leave our finger on the A string during whatever chord we're playing. So if it was a C chord, we would have our finger on the A string there. If it was a G7 chord, we'd have our finger on the A string where you would normally place it for a G7 chord. Okay, so X means we're playing a chord as normal or adding a note. Whenever you see the naught or O, think of it as O for open. That means if we're playing a C chord, we would take the finger away at that point. If we're playing a G7 chord, we would take that finger away at that point. Now, that means you could follow that in slow motion, and we would have a down strum, for instance, with the finger on. We take it off for the up down. We put it on, take it off, on, off. Now, that's going to be really difficult, isn't it? To think, oh, I'm reading these noughts here and crosses here, and I'm thinking about down, up, down, up. Now, this is something that nobody taught me at the time when I learned this, and I wish they had. There's a really easy way to remember it. Whenever we're doing the split strum, whenever we're doing those full down strums, the long arrows, notice that our finger is always on the chord. When we're doing the little ones, it's always off. So all you've got to think is when you do those big down strums, put your finger on, and when you're doing the little ones, take it off. So in slow motion, if I do that for C chord, it will sound like this. On, off, off, on, off, off, on, off. So it's only coming on when I'm doing those full strums, right? Let's do that together a few times. 2, 3, 4. On, off, off, on, off, off, on, off. One more time. 2, 3, 4. On, off, off, on, off, off, on, off. How cool does that sound? You're not going to be able to go this fast. Well, you might be able to, but when you do it fast, it gives it a real kind of flourish and a really lovely sound. Let's see if we can do that, rotating it round and round. 2, 3, 4. On, off, off, on, off, off, on, off, on, off, off, on, off, off, on, off, on, off, off, on, off, off, on, off, on, off, off, on, off, off, on, off. That's it. That's the split strum with the finger added. Isn't it lovely? Now we can do exactly the same on a G7 chord, and we will do in the 12th Street Rag. Now, of course, with the G7 chord, we're only going to lift off the finger that's on the A string, okay? That's what's happening. So these two will stay down for the whole chord. And quite simply, I do the same thing with the C chord. Watch. On, off, off, on, off, off, on, off. So I'm just lifting that ring finger up and down that second fret of the A string. So let's give that a go. 2, 3, 4. On, off, off, on, off, off, on, off, on, off, off, on, off, off, on, off. And you can just keep rotating that round and practicing it. Now, what I'd like you to do to practice this, and this is going to set you up for the 12th Street Rag as well, is to practice that round like we did before we were doing our ons and offs, by just playing that process round twice on a C chord and twice on a G7 chord. I'm going to show you how to do it. You can try playing along, or you can just listen. Then I want you to pause the video and have a go yourself. It will sound like this. 2, 3, 4. On, off, off, on, off, off, on, off. On, off, off, on, off, off, on, off, on, off, off, on, off, off, on, off, on, off, off, on. And you can just keep repeating that round and round. Have a try. It's tricky, that, isn't it? It's like that tapping your head and rubbing your tummy at the same time. It's really, really difficult to do. You have to really think about it. So please, please, please be really patient with yourself and take your time with that. Not everyone's going to get that straight away. When you are ready, have a look at sheet 2, which will be again in your PDFs that you can download using the arrow and then following the link to my Dropbox, and you can download a copy of this. I'll put it on the screen where I can. Now, the 12th Street Rag, the large part of the song is just simply playing variations of this pattern, either A or B, again and again, either on a C or a G7 chord. So what we're going to do is we're going to explore this in a lot of detail. Let's have a look. Let's have a look at the A pattern first. Now, if you have a look at the top line, that is exactly what we've just been practicing. We could try it on a C chord. On, off, off, on, off, off, on, off. Okay, that's your down, up, down, down, up, down, down, up. Then notice that underneath we have another little addition to finish it off. This isn't too tricky. It's just like part of that strum with a little change. So remember, we're going to be keeping our finger on the chord, on the A string, whenever we have a big arrow or a full strum. So the next line starts with down, up, down, down. Strum, up, down, strum. On, off, off, on. Okay. And then it's simply followed by an up, down, up, but notice they're big arrows, so a full up, down, up strum. And when we're doing our full big arrow strum, we keep our finger on. Up, down, up. So if I follow the bottom bit of the A section, it will sound like this. Down, up, down, down. Up, down, up. Strum, touch, touch, strum. Strum, strum, strum. On, off, off, on. So practice that round a few times and get really comfortable with that bottom part. Notice there's a little breath, isn't there, between the first bit and that up, down, up strum. So just think of it as a little breath. I don't want you to count it again because a lot of these strums come on halfway through an offbeat and it's really difficult to time it. I just want you to play that little breath in between. Now let's put that section, that bottom part, together with the top part of A. Remember, the top part is your basic split strum that we practiced earlier on in the video. So if I piece that all together, 2, 3, 4. Okay, I have the top part, bottom. Again, pause the video, practice that round a few times, get really, really comfortable with it. And when you've got that, I want you to practice the A section again using a G7 chord. Remember, when we're saying off on a G7 chord, it just means lifting off that finger that's on the A string. These two stay there for the whole time. So with a G7, the A section will sound like this. Have a little practice round with the G7. So before we try the B section, let's just take a breath. That was a lot to practice, wasn't there? And a lot of tricky things to think about. So really, really be patient with yourself. Break this video down, pause it as many times as you like, work at it over a matter of days and weeks. Absolutely fine, take your time. But when you're ready, let's have a look at the B section. And just to reassure you, most of the 12th Street Rag, as I say, is either that A section or the B section, played with either a C chord or a G7 chord. That's most of the 12th Street Rag, believe it or not. And the extra bits that we're going to do are really easy. So once you've got this, you're really close to being there. So let's try the B section now then. We'll try it with a C chord first. Now, if you have a look at the top part of the B section, it's your standard split strum, the first thing we learned in this video, and it's the same as part A, the top line, isn't it? So we've got just our classic split strum. Down, up, down, down, up, down, down, up. On, off, off, on, off, off, on, off. Okay, just the same as the top part of the A section. Now the bottom half of the B section, believe it or not, if you take the simple route, it's the easiest thing you do in the whole song. Because you can either play the triplet that's there, and I'll talk you through that in a second, or you can just play 4 down strums. If you're playing 4 down strums, notice that the chord is held down for the whole thing because they're all X's. That would just literally be 1, 2, 3, 4. It really is that simple. So if I put that together with the top line of the B section, strum, 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 strum. It's that simple. Now, I covered triplets on an earlier video and I'm going to provide a link in the description. But just as a quick reminder, and I think it is worth, by the way, having a look at that video if you've never done triplets before, because the technique's really important. But at its most basic, with the triplet, we're going to go down with our index finger, down with the thumb, and up with the index. And that covers the space of 1 beat, so it's quite a quick movement. Triplet, triplet, triplet. Finger, thumb, finger. And remember, as you're doing that triplet, keep that thumb behind the finger. It's not 2 movements at the start like that. It's like a windmill. Finger, thumb automatically follows, and then you just touch on the way up. Triplet, triplet, triplet. If we put that together and put the triplet on the second strum, we have strum, triplet, strum, strum. Okay. If you're not sure about that triplet, just leave it out. But if I put that together with the triplet and the top half of the B section, it will sound like this. Strum, triplet, strum, strum. Not too tricky, is it, once you've got the hang of that triplet? I want you to practice that a few times round. I also want you to practice that playing with a G7 shape. And in that case, it will sound like this. Strum, triplet, strum, strum. Okay, practice that round a few times. Now, here's where things get really exciting. The third downloadable PDF that we have is like a roadmap to the whole of the 12th Street rag. It tells you what to play when. Now, we have a couple of new bits to learn, which aren't too difficult. I'm going to talk you through those in a minute. But notice most of the 12th Street rag is either the A pattern, played with either a C or a G7th chord, or the B pattern, played with either a C or a G7th chord. So we're just playing those patterns again and again, changing between a C and a G7. And if we follow this through one step at a time, it pieces together the 12th Street rag. Let's take a look and I'll show you exactly what I mean. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through steps 1, 2 and 3 with you, and I'm going to show you exactly what it's asking you to do. So number 1, we have a C chord and it's telling us to play the A pattern. So we play through the whole of that A pattern, the top half of the sheet that we were just doing, with a C chord. Make sense? Next thing, it's saying B pattern, but the chord is a G7. So we're going to be lifting this finger off a G7. Down, optional triplet, down, down. See how it's working? Then we'll look at 2. It's telling us to go back to the A section, but notice this time we're playing the A pattern, but with a G7 chord. And you guessed it, next up we have the B section, but this time with a C chord. It's like it's flipped, right? Number 3, it's telling us to go back to the A section with a C chord. See how it's working? And then B section next with a G7 chord. And that's whole of the 1, 2 and 3 sections explained. So all you've got to do is follow that strum pattern, but make sure you're holding down whichever chord it is, either a C or a G7. And for those A and B sections, it's always going to be a C or a G7. Let's just try playing that together really slowly so you can see how it sounds without stopping. So I'm starting from 1, and that's the A section with a C. 2, 3, 4. Now B section with G7. A section with G7, B section with C, A section with C, B section with G7, and you can see how bit by bit it's piecing together that lovely 12th Street rag. Next up we have section 4, which is something new. Now don't panic, this is actually relatively easy. What we're going to do is we're going to play a D chord, but we're going to do this barred version. So thumb on the back of the ukulele, remember, bar as close to this metal fret as possible to try and avoid buzzing, making it easier to fret. Little bit of the finger over the top, you don't want to be just here because that's hard to get the pressure, little bit over the top, and little finger on the 5th fret of the A string. Quite simply, you're going to strum for 4 beats. You can either do 4 down strums, or if you prefer, just 4 beats of strumming up and down. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's what I tend to do. Then it's just followed by a barred D7, finger on the 3rd fret of the A string now, and just strum up and down for another 4 beats. So if you put that together, finger on the 5th fret, 3rd fret, then we've got a G7 chord. Now this is another kind of syncopated rhythm. And again, this is quite often taught with ones and ands and twos and all sorts, and it gets too complex. I just want you to copy this pattern first. First of all, we're going to do 3 quick down strums on a G7. Ba, 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 ba. I tend to squeeze on each of those, squeeze, 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 so I get a slight kind of muted sound, but you can just strum down 3 times. Then all we need to do for the next bit is use our little finger to play the 3rd fret of the A string, 4th fret of the A string, and then see if you can squeeze it up, reach up to the 5th fret. And the timing is this. Okay. If you practice that a few times round, it's not too tricky once you've got the hang of it. Ba 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 3 4 5. 3 4 5 referring to the frets you press. Ba 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 3 4 5. And that's it. That's the whole of that section 4. If I piece that together after 4, 2 3 4. D7. Sounds great, right? And it's relatively simple. You can practice that round a few times. Next up, section 5 and 6, we're just back to following the patterns using either a C or a G7 chord. So number 5, we have the A pattern on a C chord. 2, 3, 4. Then we have the B pattern on a G7 chord. Number 6, we stay on a G7 chord for the A pattern. Before finishing off with the B pattern on a C chord. And see, we're just piecing it together section by section, and all you need to do to learn it is follow that through. Eventually you'll learn these by rote. They're very similar, aren't they, these patterns? As soon as you've played it a few times, you'll have it ingrained. Next up, we do section 7, which is another new thing, but easy peasy lemon squeezy. All it's telling you is to play each of these chords in turn, just strumming up and down, and each one is a measure or 4 beats. So we have C for 4, C7 for 4, F for 4, then we've got F sharp diminished 7, which sounds awful, but it's not that difficult. It's your second position on the fretboard, diminished 7th chord. I find the easiest way to do it is to put my finger here, like I'm playing a C chord, my little finger, and then build like a G shape on top of it. So from nose to toes, you're playing 2, 3, 2, 3. And we can play that for a measure, C for a measure, A7 for a measure, D7 for 2 beats, G7 for 2 beats, and back to C to finish off. And you know those D7 and G7 are both 2 beats each, because if you look carefully, they're both contained within one measure. There's only slashes either side of them. Okay. Now, if you want to be super fancy, there's something fun you can do on that F sharp diminished 7th. Now, I don't know if you remember back to an earlier video, but diminished chords, they repeat themselves every 3 frets up the fretboard. This is a trick that George Formby used to use all the time, and it's kind of a neat little thing to do. So what you can do when you get to that F sharp diminished 7 is kind of extend it out again and play it normally here, then play it at the 5th and 6th frets, 3 frets higher, and then play it at the 8th and 9th frets, 3 frets higher again. So it will sound like this. Now that's just entirely optional, it's just a bit of fun. If you put it in, you could do the timing something like this. Here it comes. Yeah, and then C, A7, D7, G7, and C. But if you're not sure, just play it in one position for a whole measure, and that's absolutely fine. And I'm going to leave it up to you how fancy you want to do that section. You could include a few triplets. They sound lovely on the diminished part. You could kind of add them in there, but I want that to be at your discretion because there's plenty going on already. Even if you just strum up and down, it'll sound really, really lovely. Now, believe it or not, yay! That's it. You've mastered the 12th Street rag with split strum. It's just a case of practicing all of those sections really slowly and then gradually building up the tempo. In a minute, what I'm going to do is 2 playthroughs, one in really slow motion so you can see how all the sections fit together and how it sounds nice. And then secondly, I'll do one a little bit more up tempo that you can either practice with when you're more confident or just see how it can sound when you've practiced it lots and pieced the whole thing together. But just before we do that, I've got a 4th sheet and yet another downloadable PDF where we have an optional intro and outro. And these are just for fun, just a little kind of snippet of music that we can add to the start and finish, just to kind of bookend the piece. Let's take a look. So the tabbed out intro here looks way more difficult than it is. I'm going to break it down and show you it's actually quite easy peasy. You can use any finger, but what I'd like you to do is place a finger in the 2nd fret of the E string. So it's going to play an F sharp note because we have E, F, F sharp, okay? And then all we need to do is pick the right strings with either our thumb or our index finger. So with that finger in place for the whole thing, you're going to pick G string, E string, G string like this. G, E, G. It's actually G, F sharp, G because our finger's down, but let's just name it after the string. G, E, G. And then simply, we just pick the A string and back to the G. G, E, G, A, G, or G, F sharp, G, A, G. Okay, just a pattern, isn't it? Not too difficult. And notice we just do that twice for the first measure. And then again. And then the next measure, we just hit the G string 3 times with our thumb. And then on the A string, we have off, 1, 2, we finish with a G7 chord. I just strum that down with my index finger. So that last measure, 0, 0, 0, off, 1, 2. And actually the easiest thing to do when you play the last measure is to try and finish with your 3rd finger in the 2nd fret. So we have off, off, off on the G string, 0, 1, 2, because then you can drop your G7 shape down. So first measure, finger on this second fret of the E string, sound like this. And again. And then G string, off, 1, 2, strum. There's your intro. The outro is actually a bit easier. What we do is we take an A major shape, like you play for A major, and we're going to hold that shape down on the middle two strings, the C and E strings, at the 3rd and 4th frets. And with our right hand, or picking hand, we're either going to pick the two strings with 2 fingers, those or those, or you can use your thumb to strum down just over the middle 2 strings. Okay. And if you notice on the tab, all we're doing is we're taking that shape backwards. 3 and 4, 2 and 3, 1 and 2, off. So if I put that together. And then finally we're playing a C chord. You can just strum down, absolutely fine. There's a funny kind of symbol above that C chord. It's called a fermata. It's like a rest of indeterminate length. It just means when you strum the C chord, don't do anything until you decide the song's finished, and then you can stop the chord ringing out as long as you want, basically. So piece that together. Okay, fairly easy, right? So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to play through the whole of the 12th Street Rag. What we're going to do is we're going to play the intro, then we're going to use our roadmap to follow through the whole piece. And then after we've done that final strum pattern where we're doing all the chords, that section, we're going to finish with the outro. And what I'll do is I'm going to do the first playthrough so you can practice along or just hear how it fits together in slow motion. So we're going to go way below tempo just so you can kind of work out in your head how it all pieces together. Okay, and so that when you feel confident enough, you can practice through at a slow tempo. Afterwards, I'll give you a more upbeat performance so you can see how it sounds when you've kind of perfected things. Let's take a look at the slow tempo version first of all. So we're going to start with that intro. Here we go, finger on that F sharp note, 2nd fret of the E string, and we'll pick out that intro. 2, 3, 4. And again. Next bit. Strum a G7. Now A section on a C chord. B section on a G7. A section G7. B section C. A section C. B section G7. D chord, D7 chords, G7 cha-cha bit. Now 5, A section C. B section G7. A section G7. B section C. Section 7, just strum. C7. F sharp dim 7. C. A7. 2 beats of D7. 2 of G7. And C. Outro. And let's finish on a C. Now, if you did manage to keep up with that, absolutely brilliant. Give yourself a pat on the back. If you didn't, don't worry one bit. This is a heck of a tricky piece, isn't it? Lots of new skills that we're putting together in one piece. It takes a lot to kind of piece those bits together. But the more you practice it slowly, the more you can start to memorize those sections. You'll soon pick it up and you'll be able to piece it together. So go at your own rate. You don't have to learn this all in one go. I can't say that enough. Really take your time with it. What I'm going to do now is a more upbeat version, just so you can hear how it sounds when you've had a chance to practice it and it all clicks together. A couple of changes. I'm probably going to do that little diminished seventh run, just because I like the way it sounds. And also on the outro, some people don't like the sound of a seventh chord when we finish a piece because it sounds unresolved. But when I do the outro, just know I tend to finish on a C7 rather than the C that's written. I've put a C because to many people's ears that feels more comfortable, but I'm probably going to go for that lovely unresolved finish on a C7. You can do whichever you like. Here we go then. I'm not going to go crazy fast tempo because I'd probably go wrong and that would just be showing off anyway. But here it is at a bit more of a mid-tempo. So there we go, just a bit more of a medium tempo there so you can get an idea of how it all gels together when we reach that tempo. If you do think, yes, I've definitely got that split strum, I've got the confidence, I'm feeling up for it, maybe that's your challenge. See if you can then take it up to a higher tempo. Have loads of fun with it. If that's way ahead at the moment for you, that's absolutely cool. And I really want to say, even if you just watch the first part of the video and you get the basic idea, that split strum, that's enough. You can then practice that again and again and again, start to build up your tempo, and then when you're confident enough, then you can tackle the 12th Street rag. So there's always little bits of learning, even if you're not ready to do all the repertoire pieces quite yet. Now, I know that was challenging, but I hope you enjoyed learning a few things as much as I did teaching it. I love the 12th Street rag and I love the split strum, so it's just fun, isn't it? And I love playing those pieces from the golden era of the ukulele from the 10s, 20s and 30s. I just think they suit the ukulele so well.